Imagine fear not as a wall that blocks you, but as a shadow that only appears when you turn your back on your dreams. Many of us have grown up hearing that fear is something to avoid, to run from, to hide behind. But Maya Angelou teaches us a different truth. Fear is not the enemy. It is a signal, a guidepost, a companion on the path to becoming who we are meant to be. Fear is like the wind that blows against a sail. It can seem to push us back, but if we harness it correctly, it can propel us forward faster than we ever imagined. Too often, we mistake the discomfort of fear for a permanent barrier, when in reality, it is a temporary sensation, a fleeting moment that signals growth is near. Fear shows up in countless forms. It might appear as hesitation before speaking your truth, as a knot in your stomach before taking a bold step, or as a quiet voice that whispers you're not ready, not worthy, not capable. Angelou would remind us that these moments are universal. Every person you admire, every person who has achieved greatness has faced fear. Fear does not discriminate. It visits the young and the old, the inexperienced and the seasoned, the timid and the bold. But the difference between those who succumb to fear and those who rise above it lies in perspective. Those who overcome fear understand that it is not a permanent barrier, but a test of resilience, a mirror reflecting the courage they already possess within themselves. To overcome fear, we must first acknowledge it. Denying fear or pretending it does not exist only allows it to grow in the shadows of our minds, feeding on doubt and inaction. Angelou's wisdom urges us to name the fear, to feel it fully, and to sit with it long enough to understand its roots. Sometimes fear is rational, warning us of danger, but more often it is irrational, inflated by stories we tell ourselves about what could go wrong. By observing fear without judgment, we strip it of its power. When you can look fear in the eye and say, "I see you, but I will not let you control me," you reclaim your strength and shift from being a prisoner of fear to being its master. Courage does not mean the absence of fear. It means taking action in spite of it. Angelou's life and teachings are a testament to this principle. She faced adversity, prejudice, and personal loss, yet she continued to step into the spotlight of her purpose, speaking truth to power, lifting voices, and inspiring generations. Each act of courage, each decision to move forward while trembling became a building block in her extraordinary life. Similarly, when we confront our fears, no matter how small or large, we accumulate inner strength. Every time you act despite fear, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than you believed, that fear is not the defining factor of your life. One of the most profound lessons we can learn from fear is that it often exaggerates the obstacles we imagine. The wall you see may only be a mirage, a projection of doubt that your mind has constructed. By stepping forward, by taking action in small increments, you reveal the true nature of the challenge, and often, you find it is far less formidable than you anticipated. Angelou's teaching is clear. Fear is not meant to stop us, but to test our resolve, to awaken our courage, and to illuminate the path to growth. The shadow may appear large, but your light can outshine it. To live without fear is not to live fully. To embrace fear, to step into it, and to move forward despite it is to experience life in its richest, most vibrant form. Each step taken in courage strengthens your spirit, deepens your wisdom, and expands your possibilities. Fear becomes less a chain and more a compass, pointing you toward the areas where growth, transformation, and fulfillment reside. Angelou's philosophy teaches us that mastery over fear is not a single moment of triumph, but a lifelong practice, a series of deliberate choices to act with bravery even when the outcome is uncertain. Finally, overcoming fear completely requires a shift in mindset. It demands that we see ourselves not as fragile beings at the mercy of circumstance, but as resilient individuals capable of rising above the shadows. Fear will visit us again and again, but each time it comes, we grow stronger, more self-aware, and more courageous. The journey is not about eradicating fear entirely, but about cultivating a relationship with it, one in which fear becomes a signal rather than a barrier, a teacher rather than a tyrant, a shadow that highlights the light within us. By embracing fear, as Angelou encourages, we unlock a life of profound possibility, a life where our dreams are no longer confined by doubt, hesitation, or imagined walls. Fear is often misunderstood. We see it as a limitation, a sign that we are weak, or a reason to pause and retreat. But Maya Angelou teaches us that fear is more than just an obstacle. It is often a reflection of our deepest desires. It is the heartbeat of the things that matter most to us, the things we long to achieve, the dreams that call us beyond our comfort zones. Fear often arises when we stand at the edge of possibility, when we are about to step into a space that challenges us to grow. It is not meant to stop us. It is meant to reveal what we truly care about and to prepare us for the courage we will need to pursue it. Recognizing this changes everything. Fear is no longer a chain but a compass, pointing us toward the areas of life where our greatest fulfillment lies. One of the most profound lessons Maya Angelou imparts is that fear thrives on hesitation. The longer we wait, the more intimidating it becomes. Our minds begin to create elaborate scenarios of what could go wrong. We imagine failure in vivid detail, magnifying the consequences and paralyzing ourselves with uncertainty. But in truth, these imagined obstacles are far more frightening than the reality. Action is the antidote to fear. Every step we take, even when small, chips away at its power. By moving forward despite trembling hands, racing thoughts, and a pounding heart, we assert control over fear rather than letting it dictate our choices. Courage is built not in moments of comfort, but in moments of deliberate action. And Angela's life is a testament to this truth. She faced adversity, rejection, and uncertainty repeatedly, yet she kept moving forward, guided by a commitment to her purpose, her voice, and her mission. Fear often disguises itself as prudence. It convinces us that waiting for the right moment or gathering enough preparation is necessary before acting. But Angelou reminds us that life's most transformative experiences often require stepping into the unknown with imperfect readiness. The right moment rarely arrives perfectly formed. It is created when we choose to act despite our doubts and insecurities. To overcome fear, we must embrace imperfection and understand that courage is not a flawless performance. It is a decision to move forward with authenticity, persistence, and faith in our own resilience. Fear shrinks when faced with decisiveness and determination, and the act of pursuing what scares us most becomes a training ground for inner strength. Another vital insight is that fear is often a teacher in disguise. It signals the edges of our comfort zone, pointing us toward areas where growth, creativity, and transformation are waiting. The tasks we are most afraid of are frequently those that hold the greatest potential to change our lives. Angelou teaches that leaning into these fears, rather than retreating from them, allows us to discover our courage, expand our capacity for resilience, and uncover the depths of our own potential. Each time we confront fear, we rewrite the narrative we tell ourselves about what is possible. We challenge the false limitations imposed by doubt, insecurity, and societal expectations, and we claim a life that is larger, bolder, and more authentic than we previously imagined. Fear also carries a profound message about self-trust. When we listen to fear without surrendering to it, we learn to trust our instincts, our judgment, and our ability to navigate uncertainty. Angelou's words remind us that we are stronger than we think, capable of far more than we give ourselves credit for. Every act of courage, no matter how small, reinforces this truth. Speaking up when silence is easier, taking a risk when security tempts, pursuing a dream when doubt looms. All these moments build a foundation of self-belief that fear cannot erode. The more we practice acting despite fear, the less it controls our choices, and the more freedom we gain to live fully. Perhaps the most powerful lesson of all is that fear loses its power when it is met with purpose. Angelou believed that purpose provides a light that guides us through darkness, a steady force that steadies us when anxiety and doubt threaten to overwhelm. When your actions are anchored in meaning, in the knowledge that what you are doing matters, fear becomes a companion rather than a tyrant. It is no longer a signal to stop, but a sign that you are stepping into significance. Each time you move forward despite fear, you reinforce the alignment between your actions and your purpose, cultivating a life of intentionality, courage, and fulfillment. Finally, fear can teach us gratitude for our courage and resilience. When we recognize that fear is a natural part of growth, we can celebrate each step we take toward what we desire. The trembling heart, the racing mind, the sweaty palms, they are markers of life fully engaged, proof that we are pursuing what truly matters. Angela's wisdom encourages us to embrace fear, not as a weakness, but as a signal of what is important, an invitation to rise, and an opportunity to become the people we were meant to be. By acknowledging the presence of fear, facing it directly, and taking deliberate action despite it, we transform fear into a teacher, a motivator, and a guide toward a richer, more empowered existence. Fear teaches us something profound about ourselves. It is not merely an obstacle to avoid or a sensation to suppress. It is a mirror reflecting our inner strength, our values, and our potential. Maya Angelou understood that each encounter with fear is an opportunity to grow, to expand the boundaries of what we believe is possible, and to discover the courage that already exists within us. Fear is often the signpost that points toward our deepest ambitions, our most important work, and the aspects of life that demand the fullest expression of who we are. When we learn to embrace fear, we recognize that it is not a wall meant to stop us, but a guide that illuminates the path to self-discovery, resilience, and authentic living. Every time we lean into fear, we are confronted with a choice: to retreat into the comfort of what is familiar or to step boldly into the unknown. Angelou teaches that the moments that define our lives are born from choosing courage over avoidance, action over hesitation, and trust over doubt. Fear is never entirely absent from our journey, but it becomes less intimidating when we understand that it is temporary, malleable, and, most importantly, conquerable. Each encounter with fear, no matter how small, is an exercise in strength, a test of resolve, and an affirmation of our capacity to rise above limitations that once seemed insurmountable. The beauty of fear lies in its paradox. It simultaneously challenges and empowers us. It stretches us beyond our comfort zones, forcing us to confront our insecurities, our vulnerabilities, and our self-imposed limitations. Angelou believed that this confrontation is necessary for growth. By leaning into fear instead of avoiding it, we develop resilience, discipline, and confidence that no external circumstance can take away. Every time we act despite fear, we create a ripple of courage that strengthens our ability to face future uncertainties. Fear becomes not an enemy, but a catalyst for transformation, guiding us toward the people we are meant to become. Fear also teaches patience and self-compassion. The journey of overcoming fear is rarely linear. It comes in waves, with moments of doubt, hesitation, and setbacks. Angelou reminds us that this is natural, that fear is not a reflection of failure, but an indicator of progress. By allowing ourselves to experience fear without judgment, we cultivate patience with our own growth, understanding that courage is a practice, not a single act. Self-compassion emerges as we acknowledge our fears, embrace our imperfections, and continue to move forward despite uncertainty. This inner kindness strengthens our resilience, giving us the emotional fortitude to face challenges with grace and determination. Another vital lesson of fear is its ability to clarify our purpose. Fear often signals that we are on the right path, that we are approaching something meaningful, something that will stretch us and elevate our lives. Angelou's philosophy encourages us to pay attention to this signal, to see fear not as a deterrent, but as an invitation to rise, to stretch, and to engage fully with life. When we follow this guidance, fear becomes a compass rather than a chain, pointing us toward experiences that matter, opportunities that inspire, and actions that align with our highest aspirations. By leaning into fear, we discover the essence of courage, the ability to act with intention, integrity, and unwavering commitment to what we value most. Fear also has the power to teach humility. It reminds us that despite our knowledge, talents, and experience, life is unpredictable and challenges are inevitable. Angelou teaches that embracing fear with humility allows us to stay grounded, to approach challenges with openness, and to recognize that growth comes not from avoiding difficulty, but from engaging with it fully. Fear, in this sense, is a teacher of wisdom, showing us that courage is not arrogance, but the thoughtful, deliberate choice to act despite uncertainty, to move forward even when the outcome is unknown, and to trust in our inner strength and resilience. Ultimately, fear invites us to live fully. By confronting it repeatedly, we uncover the depth of our courage, the resilience of our spirit, and the breadth of our potential. Angelou believed that true liberation comes not from the absence of fear, but from the mastery of fear, the ability to act decisively, to speak boldly, and to pursue our dreams while fear is present. Each time we step forward despite the tremor in our voice, the pounding of our heart, or the uncertainty of the outcome, we assert our power over fear. In doing so, we transform it from a source of limitation into a source of energy, motivation, and insight. In embracing fear, we also inspire others. Courage is contagious. When we confront fear publicly, whether through action, speech, or creative expression, we provide a model for those around us. Angelou's life demonstrates that the bravery to act despite fear can ignite courage in countless others. By facing fear, we contribute to a ripple effect that empowers not only ourselves, but our communities, our workplaces, and our world. Each act of courage, no matter how personal or seemingly small, becomes a beacon illuminating the path for those who may feel paralyzed by their own doubts. Fear, then, is not something to eradicate or despise. It is something to understand, to honor, and to harness. Angelou teaches us that it is a companion on the journey toward growth, a guidepost for meaningful action, and a catalyst for courage. By embracing fear as a teacher rather than a tyrant, we unlock the potential to live a life of authenticity, resilience, and boldness. Every encounter with fear is an opportunity to redefine ourselves, to expand our possibilities, and to step into the fullness of who we are meant to be. So now I ask you, look at yourself in the mirror and ask, what am I afraid of today? Is it failure? Is it rejection? Is it speaking up, stepping forward, or daring to chase the dream that lives quietly in your heart? Fear is honest. It shows up sometimes shouting, sometimes whispering, but it always demands your attention. And you know what Maya Angelou would say. She would lean close and remind you that fear is not your enemy. It is your companion, your teacher, your signal that greatness is waiting on the other side. It is telling you, here is where growth begins. Here is where courage is born. Imagine for a moment that fear is like a shadow on a bright sunny day. Shadows are real, they exist, and they stretch long and dark when the light hits just right, but they cannot stop the sun. And you are the sun. The light of your purpose, your passion, and your resilience is far stronger than any shadow of fear. It may follow you, it may linger at your feet, it may even try to cover your path, but your light, your courage, and your will to rise are unstoppable. Fear can teach you, fear can challenge you, but fear cannot define you unless you let it. And let me tell you something, you were never meant to be defined by fear. You were meant to rise, to shine, to break through, to step into the life you have always imagined. Let's talk about hesitation for a moment. How many times have you stopped yourself because of what ifs? How many times has fear whispered, wait, not yet. You're not ready, maybe later. Maya Angelou would laugh gently and say, my dear, the time is now. You are ready because you are here. You are alive. You have a heartbeat that says keep going. Every step forward, no matter how small, is proof that you are capable. You see, courage is not the absence of fear. It is the willingness to act despite it. And courage is not one moment of bravery. It is a habit, a choice, a way of life. Every time you step forward, every time you take action when fear is knocking at your door, you are training your spirit, building your resilience, and telling the universe, I will not be stopped. I will not be silenced. I will not shrink from my destiny. Now imagine this. You are standing at the edge of a vast ocean. The waves are fear crashing against you, trying to pull you back. But beneath your feet is the sand of your strength, the solid foundation of your courage, the rhythm of your heartbeat that whispers, I can, I will, I must. Angelou reminds us that each wave of fear we face is an invitation, not a punishment. Each challenge is an opportunity to learn, to grow, to rise higher than we ever thought possible. You may stumble, you may feel your knees weaken, but if you take one step, then another, and then keep going, soon you will find that the waves that once seemed so powerful are now behind you, and you are moving forward stronger, braver, more unstoppable than ever. And let's not forget the power of your voice. How often has fear kept you silent? How often has fear stopped you from speaking your truth, sharing your ideas, or pursuing what sets your soul on fire? Angelou would look at you with eyes full of wisdom and say, your voice is necessary. Your story is necessary. The world needs to hear you, even if your voice shakes, even if your hands tremble. Speak anyway. Act anyway. Step forward anyway. Courage grows with practice, and every time you choose to use your voice, every time you choose to act despite fear, you are rewriting the story of your life. You are telling yourself and the world, I am capable. I am strong. I am fearless enough to try. And here is the most beautiful truth of all: fear is temporary, but growth is permanent. Every encounter with fear leaves a mark, not of weakness, but of resilience. Every step forward builds a muscle in your soul that fear cannot erode. Angelou's wisdom teaches us that the goal is not to eliminate fear entirely, because it will always visit, but to master it, to let it teach you, to let it propel you, and to keep moving forward with unwavering faith in yourself. Imagine looking back on your life and seeing every fear you overcame as a stepping stone, a ladder rung lifting you higher, each one bringing you closer to the life you were always meant to live. So I challenge you right here, right now, to face the fear that has been holding you back. Feel it. Name it. Acknowledge it. And then take a deep breath and step forward. Walk through it, run through it, dance through it if you have to. Because on the other side is freedom. On the other side is your courage. On the other side is a life filled with purpose, possibility, and the realization that you are far stronger than any fear that tried to stop you. Angelou's words are not just advice, they are a call to action. Fear is inevitable, but so is your ability to rise above it. And when you do, you will find something extraordinary. A version of yourself that is fearless, not because fear no longer exists, but because you now walk with it, learn from it, and rise above it every single day. This is your moment. This is your life. This is your chance to embrace fear, master it, and use it as the fuel to become unstoppable. Step into your courage. Step into your power. Step into your life, and let the world witness the extraordinary human being that you are.